Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kaelyn. I am an incoming fourth-year PhD candidate in History and African American Studies at Yale, and I'm taking you along for Dissertation Diaries episode 2, where we're going to be doing a whole lot of data analysis. I wanted to start the day off on the right foot, so I'm heading to the gym. It is a very cold day for it being July, but I have on my puffer and it is like 6:45 in the morning. I desperately wish I were still in bed, but we are gonna go to the gym and make the most of this beautiful morning and then get back and have a very good, productive day working on the dissertation. I am home. It is a couple hours later and I've been doing a bit of work on this book. I was meant to be working on the database for my Black Life in Early Modern England piece. I am just not feeling it today. Sometimes database work in particular is a certain kind of energy, a certain kind of tediousness, and I'm just not entirely feeling it today. I feel like I really just want to be inspired, and I always feel so much more connected to my research topic and my direction with the dissertation when I dig into the literature, especially from people that I believe write really beautifully. And so I've got Black England by Bernardine Evaristo. Just a quick, very important correction. This book is by Gretchen Gerzina. I am sorry. For sake of citing my sources, I'm gonna have this in the description as well if anybody wants to read it, because this is a very good book. And this has a foreword by Zadie Smith, and it is so good. I am just digging in because this is an 18th century study of Black life in England, and mine is more of a 16th and 17th century study. I was just really interested to see the way that she presents the information, and I am just digging in and taking a bit of notes, and I'm just gonna use my time to work through this today because I'm just not feeling database work because I'm just feeling a little lost at the moment. But that's how it goes. We don't feel like we can do one thing, but we can always pivot and direct our energy in a different direction. So just because one thing doesn't feel right doesn't mean that you can't make progress elsewhere. have thoughts. This book is obviously more centered on the 18th century. However, she does cite a few 17th century sources. And one of them is a play written by Afra Ben, and it's called Orinoco. I'm sure all the early modern literary scholars are just like, yes, obviously Shakespeare with Othello and this particular play. I'm sure that you are very well aware of all of them. However, as a historian, this is an area that I am just becoming familiar with. And because the 17th century sources are obviously a bit slim, I have to rely on a variety of sources, which include parish records, legal records, but it's also going to include literary sources and artworks and things of that nature. I am currently just trying to get as much information percolating as possible. I'm gonna grab my notebook so I have a place to jot things down, but I just want to write out all of these primary sources and add them to the Notion database, because I have a Notion table that you would have seen in the Notion video that I recently posted, which includes the primary sources and the secondary sources. And there's quite a few secondary sources in here I also want to add to the database. So what I've done is gone ahead and added all primary and secondary sources that I want to cite. They have a little asterisk and they're highlighted in yellow. And then any quotes from the author that I wanted to save for later, for my notes, as well as to save what the main argument is highlighted in green. And then as you can see in the margins, I have little notes of just my reactions to things, or just trying to summarize what it is that I've highlighted. For example, the fact that this author uses the word reconstructing the past, I find is quite interesting. I have a couple different things here about various records that they found in London in the late 17th century, early 18th century. So I've just highlighted those. I'm just going to continue working through it, but this has been a very productive session because I feel like I'm getting a lot from this book, and I'm not very far at all. I've just started it, but it's getting the ideas flowing, which is what we wanted.
Down to book 0 for the whole year.
Look at you, Ollie and doll.
Well, let's not get carried away.
8 minutes, and then I'll get you your supper, okay?
Little Miss Moo, London Boy, and I went on a little outing to get boba. I got the red bean milk tea from Yifeng. Moo has very wet paws because it was raining outside. And London Boy got a coconut smoothie thing. And now we are back. I've got my little treat. And it's time to keep on reading. Good morning, friends. I had the worst stress dream last night. I had this dream that my advisor was asking me about the progress that I've been making and was just really upset with me. Even though I was telling them that I had made a lot of progress on the database, these were the archives that I had been to, these are the archives I was signed up to go to, I had planned a trip to Oxford, and they were just really upset with me. And then I was really upset and was crying, and then I went into, you know, the fridge or like the freezer that they'll have at restaurants so you could actually walk inside. I was upset, and then I walked into a restaurant refrigerator, and Claire Saffitz comforted me. I don't know what's going on in my subconscious, but she's apparently very stressed. But, you know, it's all good. I am up this morning, was feeling super, super anxious because of my dream. And I normally, when I'm feeling really anxious, I have this habit where I pretty much immediately sit down at my desk as soon as I'm out of bed, and I try to just get work done to hopefully, you know, handle some of the anxiety. However, what I found over the last couple of weeks is that that actually doesn't help. That the best thing for me to do is to make myself do my morning routine, go for my walk with Moo, take the time to eat breakfast, hit inbox 0 before I do anything else. And I had to really have a talking to in my head to make myself do it. But I got up, I journaled, I took Moo for her walk, I made my beautiful little strawberry matcha, which is my current obsession, and got to inbox 0 before checking social media and doing anything else. And what do you know? It worked. I feel so much better. I feel so much less anxious than I was feeling this morning. So, little lesson learned that when I'm feeling really anxious, the best thing I can do is put my health first, which I think is funny because, you know, everybody tells you that you need to take care of yourself and you need to do the fundamentals of sleeping, eating, drinking water, moving your body. And when you actually do it, you realize that it actually works, which is really unfortunate sometimes because my anxiety tells me that it's not going to. And so I have to have this little inner dialogue. And sometimes the inner dialogue wins, but today she did not. I'm going to do a little bit of work. I have some calls this afternoon and see what we can get accomplished.
This actually concludes episode 2 of the Dissertation Diaries. I didn't get much other footage, and I also wanted to share the realities of beginning a dissertation and feeling rather anxious about it. I felt a bit stuck and spent the entire length of this video and that week just digging into the literature and trying to find inspiration again. But here is a little sneak peek of Dissertation Diaries episode 3, Heading to Oxford. I'll see you all in the next video.